Hello, beautiful star family, and welcome back to my channel Soul Journey. My name is Beck, the Expansion Doula, and today we are doing a tarot reading, energy reading for the collective. I do readings every Friday for the week coming, so if you want to check out past readings, especially if you want to get more clarity on this reading, definitely check out last week's reading. Today is June 28th, so let's get into it. If this resonates, please let me know. I love hearing from you. I love any type of feedback as long as it's with love, so definitely let me know. And if it resonates, please share it and hit like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future. So today's cards that we are going to be using are the Animal Dreaming Oracle, the Spirit Song Tarot, and the Universal Love Oracle. As you can see behind me, if you've followed me on my channel, the background has changed. This is probably going to be most likely one of the new backgrounds for my videos. Me and my partner are switching our spirit room and our bedroom so that our spirit room has a bigger space. It's gonna have more light, more plants. So we are gonna have some new backgrounds, so I hope you like it. All right, let's get into the reading. So today's main theme is respect. I'm really picking up this has to do with respect of self. Oftentimes we have been told or we believe that, everyone else deserves respect, everyone else deserves to have their needs met and honored, but we don't respect ourselves. We don't engage in what actually feels good to us. We don't see ourselves as worthy as others. So I feel like that's going to be the theme today. What's going to assist us with that is progression. So I feel like this is about understanding that this is a habit to be made. This is about a growing and an evolving space. It's really hard to respect something or value something that you've been taught so long isn't worthy of that. And so what's going to assist us with that is seeing our progress in that, acknowledging our progress, seeing how we've grown. That's really going to help us tap into our self-respect and our self-worthiness. We're going to say, no, like I have put effort into this. I am worthy of being cared for. And I want to have the caveat of you could lay comatose and still be worthy of everything. It's not that, but it's often important to acknowledge our own progression and our own journey, and that can really assist in us seeing that we are worth taking care of. What's going to hinder us is opportunity. So I really feel like this is about the fact that oftentimes we feel, especially in our society, that we don't have the time to take care of ourselves, that we don't give ourselves the opportunity to engage in what feels good, to really take care of ourselves. We put our energy out into everyone else except ourselves. What goes along with that is concealment. So I feel like this has to do with not speaking our truth. But mostly to ourselves, but also to others. We're not really giving ourselves the opportunity to be real with ourselves. We're not giving ourselves the opportunity to express ourselves fully and to really engage in what actually feels good to us. We're really caught up in what we've been told is okay. All right, moving on to the tarot. So our main energy is Six of Acorns or Six of Wands, and that's success and triumph in reverse. So right now, I think there's a lot of people really struggling. There's a lot of energy going on the planet right now. This is like the worthiness card. If it's in the upright, it often means being celebrated. So right now, we're really feeling the opposite. And I feel like it's more of like an internal struggle. We're not really celebrating ourselves. We're not really engaging in our worthiness. So going back to the other cards. So be aware of that. That's coming up for us, where we might feel that we, lack the worthiness to be loved, lack the worthiness of abundance, whatever it is. This is a frequency that's coming up for us. So be aware of that. Be aware of the fact that this is an energy going on through the collective. So we really need to focus on healing this aspect. What's going to assist us with this is Knight of Feathers, action and focus. So what really is going to be important this week is about consciously making a choice when these feelings come up to choose a different path, to not get bogged down in this belief system, but to really start looking at why we have that belief system, really getting clear on that, really taking action to shift this paradigm, because this is a very, very deep wound, and often it's very, very subconscious. So be aware, be focused, take action to work through this. What's going to hinder us is Five of Shells or Five of Cups, and that's hope and readjustment. So in the reverse, this is really about sorrow. I'm really feeling like this has to do with the feeling of neglect that we have had for ourselves for a really long time, that there is an aspect of resentment, that we just have not cared for ourselves. We have not created the habit. So there's a lot of sorrow, there's a lot of hurt there, not only from the outer world, but from what we've done to ourselves. So be aware of that. And again, really focusing in on healing this aspect of ourselves. The reason we don't have respect for ourselves is because we've never been told that it's okay, and we've never engaged in that possibility. What's going along with that is Nine of Crystals or Nine of Pentacles, which is security and abundance, and that is also in reverse. So I feel like this really comes from the fact that some of us really have not seen why we're worthy. We don't feel like there's anything to really show for our worth here on the planet. We've been taught that our worth comes from what we can give to others, what we can produce. And if we have something that we enjoy and or we want to like pursue, and it doesn't have that monetary value or value for someone else, it's not seen as worthy. So I think this is really important that we explore this concept and maybe the sorrow and the rejection we've had of ourselves with the belief that that's the case. So the main energy for this part of the reading is Seven of Crystals, which is options and results. So again, coming into this space of engaging in a different path. Sometimes, you know, it's one of those things where you let it flow and you just like go along, and then there's things where you are in flow, but you really determine where your rudder is stationed in the river. And I really feel like this is what's coming through for this week. Is these are things that are coming up, and they're not things to be taken lying down on our back. It's really important that we take the opportunity and we focus to create results and to choose a different path. This isn't something that's just going to magically show up. We need to be consciously creating that. What's going to go along with that is Five of Acorns, which is challenging growth, and that is also in reverse. So I feel like this week, like as much as it might be hard to hear, there are going to be some serious challenge. A lot of things are in retrograde right now. A lot of hectic energies coming up. So these feelings of unworthiness are in some ways going to seem like they make sense. We're going to not only be fighting with ourselves, but there's going to be agitation. And so it's really important that we focus and engage and notice the patterns. This reading is here for a reason. These readings are meant to not be a psychic prediction, but rather a tool to go into the week with more clarity so that we can choose different choices if that feels better to us. So what the next three cards are going to be about what Spirit wants to really direct our attention to. So the first card is the Chariot, discipline and determination. Well, I feel like that really lines up with what I was just saying. So this week is going to be about consciously choosing to be in a certain direction. The Chariot often represents two horses going in different directions, and the driver is pulling them back into a forward moving direction. And so it can kind of mean chaos, but moving into a better direction. So as we know, any type of chaos, any type of things that are uncomfortable is a red flag from the universe saying something's out of alignment. So as the chaos comes up, be very clear and focused on directing your attention towards this healing aspect and choosing to live in a different paradigm. The next card is Seven of Feathers or Seven of Swords, and that's preparation and resourcefulness, and that is in reverse. So again, I'm feeling like just this week we're gonna feel like we don't have the resources, and with this Nine of Crystals too, we're not feeling like we have the resources to give ourselves the time, to give ourselves the respect, to give ourselves what we really need to nurture ourselves. So be super aware of that, because the universe isn't necessarily behind that story. It's as a collective. That's where we're at right now. That's what we're working through. So just because that is how we feel doesn't necessarily mean that if we shift our focus, it's not going to open up wide for us. And the last card is Ten of Feathers, or Ten of Swords, and this is recovery and transformation. So we're going through a time of big shift. We're going through a time of releasing things that are very, very much not serving us. I know it's become like a cliche, it's like release what no longer serves, but this is crucial at this point. We're getting to a point where what we're doing is not working. It's not even like, oh, something needs to end, something needs to shift. We need to get clear on the fact that our belief systems are no longer resonating, they're no longer in alignment, and therefore we need to integrate why we have these beliefs. We need to integrate these old patterns so that we can come at it with a new, healthy, whole perspective instead of from these fractured pieces. So Ten of Swords is coming up saying, like, this is an ending, so get with it. We need to understand that these beliefs we have around ourselves are no longer in alignment with what the planet is going to be working on, what we need to be doing in our lives. So like, it's time to get really clear. This week is going to be on it. And the reason we're feeling so much lack is because we've ignored it for so long. So these pieces are coming up because the universe is saying, like, no, you cannot no longer ignore it. You need to make some big changes. And this has to do with spiritual practice, being more committed to the path, choosing to do the things that actually bring you joy instead of the things you've been told. This is about making really big changes, I feel. This is about really making radical shift towards self-respect and self-recovery. All right, and the last cards from the Universal Love Oracle, which I think is going to be a very necessary finish to this reading. And there may be some nudity in these cards, so just like heads up. Answered prayers is the first one. So I really feel like this is the universe saying, like, we are here if you actually engage in the trust and cultivating your own temple and yourself. And it's really important that we engage in it, that we will, because like so many of us aren't engaging in it. Like so many of us have it in our mind but aren't really engaging in it because we don't actually trust that the universe is going to support us, or rather the collective or consciousness itself, or essentially yourself. You don't trust yourself to take care of yourself in a larger way. So you need to understand that the prayers will be answered if we actually engage in the shift. The problem is that we keep resisting it. The next card, which there is nudity on, is emergence. So I really feel that this is important. So as we engage in that, spirit is going to answer our prayers and we are going to be ascending to a different level. But we can't ascend to a different level if we're not shifting our belief systems, if we're not shifting our vibration, which comes from our belief systems and thoughts and what we engage in. So that emergence is happening. And so it's kind of like coming to a point where we have no other option. That's why we have this Ten of Swords here, is there is a shift happening and either you're going to be on the ride or you're not. And it's really important to get very, very clear, because a lot of people are going to get very depressed very quickly and they're going to feel really out of alignment, or we're going to ride the wave up. So you have to decide which path that's going to be. And the last one is embrace. So I feel like this is a couple things. This is about embracing the path. This is about embracing yourself and also embracing your soul tribe. A lot of people may be struggling through this, and we need to support each other in this upward battle. And it might, I say battle lightly, it's going to feel like a battle if we don't ride it in a, I don't want to use the word positive, but a focused, clear, intentional way. So it's important that we assist our soul family in this, because if we want to have that experience together, we have to do that. But with the caveat that if you feel like you cannot take care of yourself and others this week and going forward, or at least for this week for now, the focus should be on self. It needs to be what's best for you. This is extremely, extremely important. If we all stick into our authentic paths, if we're all authentic to ourselves and in alignment and going along with flow, everything will create a synchronicity and everyone will get what they need if they're actually being present with themselves. So again, embrace the journey, embrace yourself, and then embrace others. So that is today's reading. It was a little more intense today for sure, but I think it goes right along with the energy that we're dealing with right now. If you have any questions or you have any feedback for this reading, please comment them down below. I'd love to hear your questions and your feedback. And definitely hit that like button and hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future. I do try to post a reading for the collective every Friday or on the weekend. And then I do try to post at least two other videos, one more about spiritual practice and things of that sort, and lifestyle and veganism and conscious living. So if that interests you, if you are on the path of self-love, if you are on the path of self-evolution, and engaging in shadow work and soul healing, and these topics interest you, definitely hit that subscribe button. We are always talking about said things. So thank you so much for watching. Again, if this resonated and you feel like it would help somebody, please share it. The more people can get these messages and go into their weeks with clarity, I feel like the better. Yeah, and if you would like a personal reading, you can head down to my description down below where I have my other social media links, and you can head over to my Etsy shop where I do a couple different reading options along with some other magical tools. So thank you so much for watching. Many blessings. Namaste. And don't forget, it is all about the soul journey.